Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Hube Speaks Her Mind. So as you guys know, the theme for this month is Love Yourself Month. I don't think you saw the heart, so I'm going to do that again. Love Yourself Month. And today I'll be talking about basically self-image and learning to love yourself. And that yes, it is difficult in the society we live in, but it's not impossible. Why is it difficult? Well, there's many reasons. I mean, how many times have you looked into a mirror and genuinely said to yourself, insert name here now, you're beautiful and you are worthy of being loved? And genuinely saying it, or genuinely feeling like that, and not saying it just for the sake of saying it. How many times have you walked past a mirror, seen your reflection, and actually felt this feeling of peace and contentment about the way you looked? I mean, I can honestly say that that hasn't been many times for me, because learning to accept myself for the way I look has been something that I've struggled with in the past, something I'm still struggling and trying to work on now. And this isn't because we're all taught from a young age that not loving yourself is the way to go. I mean, when you were younger and you had 2 missing front teeth, and maybe your hair was combed in a weird way and you wore clothes weirdly, and maybe the color of your lips is always darker than other people's, and the shape of your eyebrows was not like everybody else's, or like me, you have a lot more hair than most people do. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have hair here like that. I used to be so insecure about that. Whenever I'd go to a salon, I would cover my neck with a towel whenever they washed my hair, just so no one could see it, because I was so scared, because people had already made comments that it's not feminine to have hair there, and all of these different things that start to make you feel inferior, and then you start to feel like I'm not enough of a girl and therefore I'm not pretty enough. And it was something that I had to work on for a long time. I know it might seem small, but it was actually quite a big deal to me. Or the color of my lips. Today they look pretty normal, but sometimes they go black and purple, and people used to tease me about how I smoke weed or smoke Zol, and that used to get to me so much that whenever I went to school in primary, I would make sure I had some kind of lip gloss to cover the color of my natural lip color, just so that I wouldn't have to go through the day worrying about people saying things about me. And it's not only the comments people make, but also social media and all the different things that surround us, such as magazines. I mean, on magazine covers, you see so many people that we don't see. When you look at them, you don't see any part of yourself within those people. And a study was shown that when they try to put like your average Joe on the cover of the magazine, it doesn't sell, because people don't want to see themselves. So in a way, those magazine covers are like your mirror reflection that you're constantly running away from. And that's sad, because it shows that the mentality our society has is that we're not good enough. So in order to be good enough, we need to get to those standards, that level of perfection, and where we flawless in terms of our body, our hair, having no skin problems, straight teeth, and perfect white teeth, or whatever it may be. And a wise person once said that too much perfection is a mistake, because if everything is so perfect, it just takes away the human quality from it. Because even the prettiest people have like a little skewed tooth somewhere there, or their eyes might be lopsided and you might not notice it. Those very magazines, those very videos of those girls and those guys are photoshopped. I mean, they do this thing called touching, where they are able to put makeup on certain body parts to change the shape and define it and make it look like there's more muscle or it's leaner. And we push ourselves and we do things to try and get to those levels, when those people who are so-called role models and people we are looking up to aren't even at that level yet. I mean, there's a lot of girls out there, and you might be watching, and you might be this girl, and I don't judge you for it, but you might have started and had an eating disorder. You might be anorexic or bulimic, starving yourself, trying to look like this perfect cover girl. If you're a guy, you might be starving yourself too, because it's not just a girl thing. Or you might be taking steroids because you want to look like Nick Jonas. He's the first guy that came in mind because he's like pretty deck, and you might want to look like him, and you changed your hair to look like all these people, and you don't realize that these people themselves are not at that level yet. They are human just like us. And we live in a society where self-acceptance is seen as a rebellious act. Actually liking the way you are and being content with yourself isn't the way to go. You need to become like other people to be accepted, because you have to be a version of someone else, because being yourself isn't good enough. We find peace in not loving ourselves for the way we are, which is really twisted and sad. And it's actually quite scary that we've let this become a norm in our society, where it's okay not to like yourself. It's okay to want to be anybody but you. And it's really sad, I think, but it's not something that can't be changed. And I think it starts with everyone as an individual. It starts with you as a person, you, whoever is watching this. It starts with me as Uma Hube to finally decide and say, you know what? I am going to be happy with the way I look. And I don't need someone else to tell me I am pretty to know that I am beautiful. I do not need thousands of girls to be chasing after me, telling me I'm cute, to know that I'm handsome. And I don't need to know what the world thinks about me to know who I am. I mean, why do we need to know so badly what someone else thinks about us when we already know what we have ourselves? I mean, you know, for example, I don't know, you have really pretty eyes, but you don't believe it until some guy comes up to you and tells you you have eyes that shine brighter than the stars. And then you believe it, and suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I really am pretty. You know, there is a difference between arrogance and confidence, but being confident was never a bad thing. And actually being sure of yourself and saying, you know what, I am enough. You know what, I am beautiful. You know what, I have beautiful eyes. And yes, the color of my lips might be dark, but I like it. You know, accept the things that the world sees as your flaws, because it's what makes you unique. It's what sets you apart from someone else. Why are we all trying so hard to be copies of other people and not being the original? You know, there's a reason there's just you. Even identical twins have differences. And you should stop trying to chase other people's idea of the perfect you, and actually work on discovering yourself and being content with what you've been given, rather than trying to have something else that is also not realistic. So I think the way to love yourself is to surround yourself with people who are positive and bring positivity in your life and remind you of your beauty, regardless of what everyone else has to say. People who lift you up with their words. And I think one way we can actually start, another thing the world focuses on is outer beauty. Like all of this, they worried about, oh my gosh, they look at me and they're like, yo, Mahube, her nails are so crusty, which they really are, or whatever it might be. And then they judge me on that, and then they think they know me, and they don't get to know my personality, my mind, my mentality, my way of thinking. And that's one thing we as people, we all do. We judge people based on the outside about what kind of people they are, which is wrong. We need to start learning to look for the qualities and characteristics of people, because outward beauty only lasts for so long. And you might fall, ladies, for his abs and his beautiful eyes, but you stuck with somebody who is controlling and arrogant and doesn't respect you, or who doesn't love themselves enough, and therefore they put you down to lift themselves up. Guys, you will be stuck with girls who are so shallow and only worried about how good they look that they will never pay you a compliment. They will never appreciate anything you do because it's all about me, 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 me. But because she was slim, thick, with a cute ass, you fell for that and now you're stuck with it. So what we need to do as people is start paying people compliments about things that don't have to do with their outward appearance. Like, hey, you know, your enthusiasm and your kindness makes my day better, or your jokes make my day, or whatever the person, the quality they have that has nothing to do with this physical, this flesh, and pay them a compliment and see how much it changes their day and how it helps you as a person feel better. Because honestly, as much as people think that putting other people down brings them up, it doesn't, because there's zero logic in that. So I will end this quote with this. I will end this video with this quote that I had in my previous video. In the absence of self-love, hate for others begins. So you should just go and love yourself, because you are worthy of being loved, and you are worthy of being loved, and you have self-worth. And don't let anybody, not even yourself, tell you that you aren't beautiful. And I'm sorry for the 11-minute video, but it had to be said. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Yes, guys. So those 4 things: like, share, comment,